Welcome back to Eat Color with Claudia. Today we are making a comfort food classic, chicken pot pie. We're going to use it with a whole chicken, some vegetables, and then on top, a huge flaky biscuit. A homemade chicken pot pie is so superior to anything you could possibly buy in a store. So the first thing we're going to do is boil a chicken. And this one here is like about 4 3/4 pounds. I cleaned her up inside and out, and we're going to place her in a pot of water, which is just enough to cover her. We're going to crank this temperature all the way up because we've got to bring her to a boil, and we're going to add some fun ingredients to pull out the flavor of the chicken. So we've got some carrots and celery, some slices of onions, parsley, a couple of bay leaves, peppercorns, thyme, salt, and pepper. Once this gets to a boil, I'm going to lower my temperature like medium-low. And I want this to simmer, a gentle simmer, for about 2 hours or till like it's fork tender. Periodically, check on her. Make sure that there's still water in there. If not, you can add a little bit more and make sure she's still got a little simmer going on. So let's take a peek. And my chicken, it looks tender. I'm gonna strain the juice. We're gonna keep all that delicious, flavorful broth. So I have everything ready to go. The chicken, I've got it cut up, 3 cups. It's in bite-sized pieces, relatively the same size as my 1 chopped onion, 3 chopped carrots, 3 chopped celery, and 3/4 cup of frozen peas. And I really like the little petite peas. We need to preheat the oven to 450 degrees. And I have a good 3 tablespoons of butter melted. And now I'm going to add each of these vegetables. The onions, the celery, the carrots. I have my temperature here on medium. And I'm just going to slowly saute this and cook this for about 15 minutes till all the vegetables get nice and tender. Look at how bright and tender our veggies are looking. So now it's time to add our frozen peas. And I've got 3 tablespoons of parsley, probably a little more, I always OD on parsley, and about 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. And we're going to now stir this. So now we're going to add a 1/4 cup flour, and instead of just dumping it, sprinkle it all the way around the vegetables. Lightly coat the flour around our vegetables. We don't want to be too rough because then the vegetables will get mushy. They've been pan frying for about 5 minutes on medium, and this is what the consistency is. So now we're going to add the chicken broth. And I strained it and I weighed it, and all the fat rose to the top. I was able to skim off the fat, and so now I've got fat-free chicken broth, 2 cups. And we'll pour it in. I have 2/3 cup, half and half. If you don't want to be good, you can always use cream or you can use milk, but half and half is a perfect balance. 2/3 cup. Now, quickly, kind of stir this together like this, kind of like whisk it. Until it begins to get thick and bubbly. Our sauce and our vegetables, so creamy. Thick, beautiful. Now it's time to add the chicken. Some salt and some pepper. I'm going to turn the heat off, and we're just going to blend this. And we'll be ready to transport it into a casserole pan. This is a 2-quart casserole pan. And we'll slide it in here, and we're going to let it cool in here for a few minutes while we make flaky biscuit to go on top. I'm sifting together 2 cups flour, 3 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt. Y'all, these biscuits are from the Betty Crocker Cookbook. We're going to cut in 6 tablespoons of butter. And that means, this is cold butter, and I kind of made it in little slices to make it easy. We're adding 2/3 of a cup milk, and we're gonna stir this until a dough forms. At some point, you'll need to ditch your spoon and use your hands and lightly knead it. Then you just, once you get the good consistency, you'll just carefully roll it out about a 1/2 inch thick until it's just the right size for your 2-quart casserole pan. So I really don't know any other way to do this, but they're like this. I take a spatula and I just kind of lift it and I put it right in here, move this around and cut off any extra. This is an egg yolk wash, so just the egg yolk, and just gently brush it on top. And the egg yolk wash on this is so cool because it gives you that really intense yellow golden hue that when it comes out of the oven, it just makes it look that much more delicious. Cut some little slits so that the pie can breathe. So now we're gonna put this in the oven for 15 minutes. We took it out of the oven and let it rest for 10 minutes. And look at this. Is this not just beautiful? You know, chicken pot pies have been around like forever. And it's because they're so great. Oh my gosh, I just know your family will absolutely love this. It's so good. You all subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week. Bon appetit.